Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. This is the day that the Lord has made. I trust that you're rejoicing and you are glad in it. Did you spring forward? Did you have to move your clocks up in any way? I don't know, but most of my stuff is on digital and it moved automatically. But I'm a morning person; it doesn't matter. I'll probably need to take a nap later on today, just because I will feel like I lost an hour. So I am super excited to always bring inspiration on Sunday morning, as well as my what I call my ministry and organizational announcements. Super excited for the month of March. I trust that um, Women's History Month, you've been celebrating the women in your life. I know I've been celebrating female authors. I have the fiction authors that's already published and out there and available. So support them. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. And so I'll continue that process through the rest of the month. And April, of course, is poetry, and then we just keep moving forward. Excuse me, but super excited of what God has this morning. Um, so I don't know if you know the story of Joseph or not. It is too long to recap. But what were as far as if you want to read the entire story of Joseph, because it's a phenomenal one. It has been preached a multiplicity of times. Good morning. Go ahead and share the broadcast. Post something in the comments. Let me know. Tag somebody who needs to be encouraged, especially on today. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, the pathway to the promise, the unlikely. Last week we talked about being the unlikely, but I'm the one. I'm unlikely. I'm not the one that everybody would think. I'm not the favorite at the family reunion, but he chose me. I'm the one. So this week we're talking about the unlikely path to promise, or and to purpose as well, because so it's an unlikely season. God is doing things and working through people that really their family would say, oh, that's unlikely. I didn't have any idea that they would be there. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. A lot of things that have happened in my life, I had no fathom. When I said yes to God, you have no clue as to what he's going to do, what he's going to say. Good morning, Elaine. Good morning, good morning, good morning from Jeff. Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Jeff. Hey, Fatima. Yep, we're going to see each other soon. Gwen, good morning. Good morning, Miss Finley. And good morning, Beth Baker. Hey, love, how are you? Looking gorgeous as always. So if you'd have told me 25 or 30 years ago, I would be here doing what I'm doing, I would have probably told you no. I had no clue. But when you say yes to God, as I stated before, when you say yes to God, you just never know what He has in store. Now, the beauty of God is that He's a keeper of His promise. He can't lie, and He's a man that He should lie, and the Son of Man He can't lie. So if He told you He was going to do something, work something in you, it's going to happen. Now, how it's going to happen is left up to Him. And even this past week, I had some things in my mind. Is, oh yeah, it's going to happen. Like not. Oh, it's gonna. No, that's not going to be the way either. So we're talking about an unlikely path to promise and purpose. Okay. So let's see who else is joining me before I get started. Oh, good morning, Evangelist Johnson. How are you, love? So the first thing, of course, now go to Genesis 37 all the way, read to 50 when he buries his father, and you'll get all the goodies. Honey, the Bible is better than any fiction that you can ever imagine, because the story just goes up and down and the characters all around. But one of the first things that started it all was Joseph had a dream. And sometimes I was like, I dreamed last night. I've told my husband that. I dreamed last night. I don't know. I mean, I've heard all kinds of theories of thought. If he had never told his dream, his life would have been better. Or he told his dream and everything went into motion. Telling his dream and what happened next was the whole thing. Only God knows that. All I know is what the Bible says happened. So he had a dream, and then he told his brothers. Now, you know how it can get a little messy and there can be jealousy among family, because remember, historically and factually, Joseph didn't have the same mama as them other ladies. You know, Jacob loved Rachel more than Leah. He had a whole lot of babies with Leah. I told you, it's better than any fiction. He had a whole lot of babies with Leah, but he really loved Rachel and worked 14 years to get her. And oh my gosh, you got to read the whole thing. But Joseph, he loved Joseph more than the others. But the brothers hated Joseph because first off, he ain't got the same mama, and daddy don't love us like he loves him. And it's messy, but it's in there. It's in there. But Joseph had a dream and he told it to his brothers. So the first thing that happened, they were like, we sick of him. We are sick of him, this coat and all this. So we got to get this done. So the next thing that happened was rejection, and then a plot. Dun, dun, dun. A rejection. So that's the next thing. And I've heard it said by many preachers that rejection is direction. I don't take credit for that one myself. I just receive it unto myself, because sometimes rejection is direction. And that is the truth. And it directed him to a whole lot of, number 3, problems. So we know that he landed in the pit. You know, they pretended like he died by some vicious animal. Some happened to him and they sold him into slavery. That's a problem. And then he lands in a pit. That's a problem. And then he lands to Potiphar's, which things was going along pretty good till Potiphar's wife thought he was hot. And then that landed him into prison because she accused him falsely. Ooh, how many of us have had that happen, to be accused falsely? But that was, to me, as we look back on it, you know, hindsight is perfect sight. It's all a part of the path. It's an unlikely path. You would think this wonderful dream of everybody's going to be bowing down to me and, oh, I'm going to be just so great in the kingdom, but you don't know all the twists and turns, the pit that has to happen, the slavery, and then finally getting out. But you're still a servant. You're supposed to be having people bow to you, but you're still serving. You're in Potiphar's house and you're working, and then you rise. Because you know, God is with you everywhere you go. So you're going to eventually be over the whole house until Potiphar's wife sees you and says, oh, he tried to rape me. Da, da, da. And no, that didn't happen. But it landed him in prison. And then you got to read the rest of the story. I'm not going to tell you the rest. But there's all kinds of problems, twists and turns. So I say that, you know, I'm not Joseph and you're not either. But the takeaway that we take is that even though God shows us the end result, he doesn't necessarily tell us all the plan, all the problems that are going to happen, all the rejection by other people, because I never told anybody, now I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I was told, you know, I mean, in my church, they had testimonies. I rarely testified about anything going on with me. So therefore, you know, the whole point is that, you know, sometimes you don't even have to tell your dream. You don't even have to tell. But the business coaching says success leaves clues. So as you're moving, even though the enemy doesn't necessarily know the full dream, you might not have told it. You might not have announced it on social media. I'm going to be a 6, 7, 8, 10 figure CEO. You didn't announce that. But people will still reject you. They'll cause problems for you, even if you didn't tell anything, because as you're moving silently, quietly, you know, gently, doing your thing, handling your business, rejection happens. Some people reject you. They don't even know why. You know, some people cause problems for people. They don't even know why. They don't even have a reason. I just don't like the way she wear her hair. I just don't like them glasses she got on. Have you seen her clothes? They don't have a valid reason. You're not buying her clothes and you ain't paying her bills. I digress. But sometimes that's what happens, because God is leading you to the promise and the purpose that he has. But sometimes it's just like an unlikely path. It's just, I wouldn't have chose it. That's not the direction I would have had. The pit, Potiphar's house, prison. But then eventually, as God would have it, as it would turn out, who knew? You know, Joseph could interpret dreams. We're back to his original dream. He had an original dream, but he could also have the gift of interpretation of dreams. that was sent from God itself. And that was the exit that he got out of prison. And he rose up in prison. Can you imagine? Everywhere he went, he was over everything. Always well connected, always could handle his business, even in Potiphar's house, even in the prison. And then he rose in the palace. You got to find out why, if you don't already know the story. And then eventually to promise and purpose. It was all a part of God's plan. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Miss Lisa. How you doing, love? Hello, Miss Walker. How you doing, dear? And so it's all a part of God's path, God's plan. It may not always be comfortable. It may not be always easy. There may be days you get in your feelings. There may be times people hurt your feelings. And you like, I thought I heard from God. I know, I thought that's what he said. He said, do this. And then all hell broke loose. Or he said, go here. I know I heard him. And I asked him a few times. And I may even have taken a half-day fast. I might even take a half-day fast to make sure that I heard it right. But when you move forward with God and what he's calling you to do and what he has for your life, it's not going to always make sense. It's not going to always be the likely place. Even if you're trying to do something good, even if you're trying to do what you think is a God thing, it just may not be his thing at that moment. So I just want to encourage you. It's an unlikely path. Good morning, love. It's an unlikely path. The path is not straight. It's not clear. It's not without issues. It's not without lessons. We take the problems and turn them into lessons. It's not without pain. It's not without things you're like, oh, okay, I learned that lesson. Oh no, that's not the way he wanted me to go. And then when you actually get to the promise and realize that all of that was incorporated in where your destiny and your destination and where you were supposed to be in the first place, it makes the rejection and the pain and the problems a little bit more to bear. And then ultimately, you're a testimony. You're a testament and a testimony to what God can do. Because over time, nothing you go through, nothing that happens to you is for naught. All things work together for good to them that love God and to those that are called according to his purpose. All of it, the good and the bad and the ugly and the disappointing and all of that. Because some of that you go through may not be for you at all. It may be to help somebody else. Esther, who knoweth thou come to the kingdom at such a time as this to save much people alive. Joseph was the reason. Well, I can't do the spoiler alert because you need to read it. But Joseph was the reason why he was able to save his house, save his nation, but all of that back there at the pit and Potiphar's house and prison, you can't see that. You had the dream that people were going to bow down to you because he became second in command, but you can't see that back there at the dream. You have to keep moving. You have to keep walking. You have to keep enduring so that when you see the next person in the pit and the Potiphar in prison and all looking like they got all kinds of problems and rejection and all kinds of issues, you can say, girl, listen, let me tell you what happened to me. And then that's where the testimony really becomes powerful because they overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of the testimony. People are going to be delivered to save much people alive, but it may be hinging on you going through the unlikely path to get to the promise and to get to purpose. I encourage you, those of you who are in business, those of you who are working a job and doing a side hustle and building your business to where you want to go. I encourage you, those of you who are raising little children and you're trying to do online school and all of that, keep moving because it's going to be a process. We're going to be able to teach other parents who are having kids. We're going to be able to help the teachers do what they need to do and the principals and the administrators. This is an unlikely time. This is an unlikely season. This is one of those in the Bible said never before. I haven't seen it. Maybe somebody else did in the 1918, whatever epidemic back there, pandemic back there. But me, this is a never before incident for me as far as I'm concerned. But I'll never be the same from it. And I'll never forget it if God be my helper and keeper. Because it will be a time and a season unlike any other. So last week we were the unlikely. God chose us. He chose Joseph too. Oh, you're welcome, honey. This is all God. Believe you me. I trust that this blesses somebody. But sometimes you're the unlikely one. Not the one that just. And you want me to do what? You want me to go where? You want me to do what? And then today it's the unlikely path. It's the road less traveled. It's not the one we would deem, but it's going to get us to promise, and then it's going to fulfill God's purpose. Yeah, there are going to be pain, problems, and all that stuff in between. But at the end of the day, the promises of God are yea and amen. His purpose is going to be fulfilled in your life. I trust that blesses you today. I trust that helps you along your journey as you continue to move. And you may suffer rejection and you may have all kinds of issues happen, but know that God has a plan. The path may be a little unlikely and not like you would have it done, and not the way you want to go, but God's way still is the best way. Ooh, you're gonna need him all the way, but God's way is still the best way. So I'm super excited this week, and as I said, the month of March has been over the top. We started off March 1st with taxes and credit and all that good stuff, and then last week we've just been doing stuff all month long. And then March 15th, tomorrow, I'm super excited about the Telling Our Stories, Surviving and Thriving. Yay! Surviving and Thriving with these phenomenal ladies. The book launch is tomorrow, March 15th. Now, they taking pre-orders. They doing their thing. I'm donating some books to some nonprofit organizations as well. So hit me up, inbox me, because I'm super excited about all that's what's going to be transpiring with the Telling Our Stories. It's amazing how even when we were in the second round of edits for the book, that even the editor said, "This book blessed me," and I'm thinking, okay, oh wow. I've had editors say, "I enjoyed the book, I enjoyed the read, la 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 la," but this one, she had similar loss in her life, and so if you know of people who have definitely suffered loss, we're going to be talking about this tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be with us, Telling Our Stories, Surviving and Thriving. You can get all of the books. You can pre-order from any of the authors. Reach out to them directly. Follow them as well, because they have nonprofit organizations that they support, and they're donating a part of their proceeds to specific organizations. I know that Elgina and well, they all do. They all have organizations that they're associated with that they support, that is related to their story. Now, I want you also to be thinking, if you're interested, be on the lookout, because I'm really in my mind, Lord, be my helper and keeper, and everybody get vaccines and everybody stay safe. And I really want to have a Telling Our Stories retreat in 2022. So put that down on the calendar. Yep, I went live and said it. I've already notified the ladies that will do it. And so I'm super excited about that. So I want to do that in spring 2022. So be on the lookout. If you have not gotten on my calendar, be sure and do that. Go to talkwithroyston.com. We need to have a conversation about that. I'll probably have a landing page up if you're interested in the retreat, because I want it to be off-site and all that good stuff. So I'm in the planning stages right now, seeking an event planner and all that good stuff, so that we can have that retreat. Because telling your stories, especially loss and memoirs and autobiographical, that's a different process than writing for nonfiction, etc. So join us tomorrow. If you have questions that you want to ask these ladies, feel free to do so. We'll be live tomorrow night, March 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going live every Monday. So March 22nd, I am going live. We're the church, is going back in the building. There is a push by states to especially, open up and kind of loosen the limitations. So as churches, now some of your churches have already been open, but we just need to have a conversation of kind of what that looks like. So I have a panel of guests next Monday, March 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We going live with a panel really talking about that. Some churches have, some fellowships have been not meeting, and some have, and some, some have just been working outside the building because we're the church with the hands and the feet of God. So look for that on March 22nd. And then March 29th, I'll be back with health and wellness special event as we head into springtime and all that good stuff. So just stay right with me. And even before the 29th, on March 23rd, I'll have a special with a panel from the National Convention of Gospel Choirs and Choruses with the president and a group from the Midwest region, which I am a part of, the National Convention of Gospel Choirs and Choruses. So follow me on social media. I'm everywhere you want to be, but Facebook and YouTube, that's where we're going. So my YouTube channel, go there and bit.ly/PK Royston on YouTube and subscribe so you can get the notices ding when I go live. All right. So coming up, let me see the comments. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're available? Awesome, awesome. Yep, we had a wonderful time. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad, Lisa, this was for you. Yes, to Mondays, child. I don't know what happened to me. I said March 1st it was gonna be Marvelous March. So let's do this thing here. Let's do this on Marvelous March. So coming up on I knew it was something I forgot. International Women's Day was March 8th. I said, what am I doing on March 8th? Of course, it was International Women's Day. But coming up at 10 a.m., stay with me, join on over there with me to envision-radio.com. Now, we've added a couple more places where you can listen, a couple more apps where you can listen. The Get Me Radio and Media U app, those two apps have been added. In addition, the Simple Radio app, radio.com, which is also can be on Roku and Hulu and all the other where radio.com is. It's incredible to be able to listen to radio through your TV and through your device and through your phone. It's incredible. Technology is wonderful. Tutor.com, that's 2 R's. And then my Tuner Radio app as well as radio.garden app. Get Me Radio and Media U, that's just the letter U at the end. It's incredible. So where praise meets talk at envision-radio.com. Join us at 10 a.m. My guest is Ms. Betty Winston by a native of New York and has written a phenomenal book, but she is like my literary auntie and one I love. And yes, I do turn into a Betty by a groupie because she sits me down and educates me on so many things, the historical significance of so much as well as writing. So join us at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just in a few minutes, head on over to envision-radio.com with my guest, Ms. Betty Winston by a phenomenal National Association of Black Journalists Hall of Famer. So I'm a groupie right now as far as writing, especially and definitely being a lady of color. I just love it. Just gives me goose pimples. So join me at 10. And then, of course, at 11, Miss Cheryl Underwood will be on Envision-Radio with Spiritual Nourishment. Cheryl Underwood has a church shout out line. So that's 1-855-743-7951. Go ahead and give your church and pastor a shout out, especially as we head into Palm Sunday and then Easter Sunday. Oh yeah, it's getting close. So 1-855-Cheryl-1. That's 1-855-743-7951. Give your church a shout out. So I'm super excited about everything that's going on. Good morning. Good morning. I trust. Yeah, Miss Betty's the bomb. So I trust that you all have a phenomenal rest of the day and an awesome rest of the week and month, and know that God loves you. Now, Head on over to juliaroystonstore.com for all things digital, videos, audios, ebooks, t-shirts, all that good stuff. So check out everything that's going on in my store, Julia Royston store. There's getting ready to be an inventory sale. Be on the lookout for it. I'll be posting there's going to be an inventory sale. I'm going to put my boxes together. I love my boxes. I've even changed sizes and all that good stuff. So that's the Royston Royal Bookstore box. I'm going to have business, inspirational, motivational, all that good stuff. And writing box, children's box. Just be on the lookout for it. And I'll be doing that probably the first part of the end of March and heading into April. It's going to be phenomenal. So be on the lookout for it. I'm having an inventory sale, so I'm just going to put some materials in a box and add some few goodies and bless the people. So I trust that you will have an awesome and phenomenal rest of the day. Join me over there at envision-radio.com. You all be blessed and know there may be an unlikely path, but you will arrive to purpose and promise. Have a great day. Hey, Natasha. Oh, I love that picture. That's a great one. You all be blessed. Have a great day.